Rebuke. We're continuing yesterday's entry about fighting the Yetz Hara. And the Sefer Hasidim says, Kol avera shetavo le'ado v'yitzot tokfo yesim libo. How should a person motivate himself to fight the Yetz Hara? He says that if imagine a person would be forced by goyim right now to do this sin. They say, we want you to go against your religion and renounce your dedication to Kadosh Baruch Hu himself by doing this sin. And whatever, imagine you have a situation where you have to do a sin, nobody's looking, and you don't know, should I do it or should I not? But imagine you had to do the same sin, and goyim were forcing you to do it. For sure, in that case, you would be, of course I wouldn't do it. What do you mean? I have to stick up for Hashem, and I'm Jewish, and I live a Jew, die a Jew, never ate chutzke, never will eat chutzke, right? So just like a person will be motivated in that case, he should be motivated in every case to fight the Yetz Hara, because he should imagine as if goyim are forcing him. So therefore, you have to realize, if you believe in Judaism so much you're willing to die for it, so why aren't you believing in it so much that you're willing to live for it? Why? If you believe it's true, so you believe it's true. You live by you die by it, so you should live by it. So therefore, he says there's no such thing really as sitting on the fence. There's some people who can get the misconception. I don't know. Do I believe? Do I not believe? If you believe to die for it, so that means you believe in it, so be all the way. Why are you sitting on the fence still, acting as if maybe sometimes I do sin, sometimes I do a mitzvah? Yetz Hara strong, convinces otherwise, but a person should always remember, you stick to your core beliefs, you stick to what you believe in. If you're willing to die for it, you should be willing to live for it. So therefore he says, you should remind yourself as if the sin, goyim would have forced you would have pushed yourself. So even now, when goyim are not forcing you, you should also push yourself. Because really, if you think about it, the Chovot Levavot says, even on a small sin, the person has to be very meticulous. Why? Because it's not about how bad the sin is, or how good the sin is, or how much lack of suffering there's going to be. Oh, this is Gehenom, this is no Chelek Olam Haba, oh, this is no Tchiat HaMetim, no resurrection. I don't have to think about all this levels of the punishments. I have to think about one thing, and what is that? Who commanded me to do these mitzvot? And even on a small sin, I should treat it just as important. Why? Because at the end of the day, who commanded it? If a father asks you to go make shopping for Shabbat, he'll get just as upset at you if you don't bring a cup of water. You'll think, okay, I didn't bring a cup of water, what's the big deal? No, he'll also get upset. It shows you don't value his word when you don't even do the small things. So therefore, a person, when it comes to the averot and the mitzvot, he should not give preference only to the big ones, the big sins, or the big mitzvot, even for the little ones. Why? Not because of the value of each one. Each one is very valuable, but also because the one who commanded it. Kadosh Baruch Hu himself asked you of it, so therefore you have to give respect to his word and do all of them. And that's how Yetz Hara gets you. The Yetz Hara tells you today, don't go to shul, don't do this mitzvah, slowly, and then that's how you start falling. Then don't learn, and then you're busy with work, it's okay, Hashem understands, and then slowly you keep going till the point where a person doesn't even wear tefillin anymore. A person doesn't even learn anymore. The last time you stepped in shul, he doesn't even remember, because the Yetz Hara tells you today, go and do a sin, tomorrow go do avodah zarah. That's how it starts, slowly. If you don't stop the train here, then God forbid it could continue. So therefore he says a person has to make sure to constantly remind himself that HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded we have to follow all his rules, all his laws. Now, he says that a person has to realize that he also has to force himself and others, people who he has authority over. He has to help them and push them to do mitzvot. He says, how can you push someone else to do mitzvot? He says, in the times of the Gemara, there was a very big mitzvah called tochecha, rebuke. That you have to rebuke your friend who's doing a sin. So therefore, they used to tell people, you're doing something wrong, it's not right, you're going to get, God forbid, this and this suffering, this and this punishment if you keep doing this. He says that's how it used to be. But he says today, a person cannot give rebuke easily anymore. Today it's very hard to give rebuke. He says today the proper way to giving rebuke is not to yell at them and to throw things at them and Gehenom Shevi and all that stuff. He says the proper way to give rebuke today is, he says, bidvarim tovim, rakim u'tukim. He says you should push them to do mitzvot with soft, sweet, and gentle words. You should motivate them. you should be chacham. What's chacham? What's a wise person? A wise person doesn't try to always force the agenda. When you want to make a business deal, you don't want to shove the business deal guy down the guy's throat. You want him to feel like he's doing good business with you. You want him to feel like he's gaining something. You want him to feel like it's what's in it for him also. So therefore, you should also do this when it comes to the mitzvot. You should go and make the person feel like he's gaining. You should make the person feel it's worth it for him to do this. You're not that he's scared of you and you're forcing him and oy va'avoy, if you don't listen to me, then that's why he does the mitzvah. No, you should make him do it not from your fear, rather do it from love. He says this way you avoid all machloket, you end up not being the bad guy, and sometimes it's worse, because if you rebuke somebody and they don't listen to you, and you told them all the sins they're going to get, and all the punishments they're going to get, and they still don't listen to you, now you made it that he is mizid. Now you made it that he is by accident, because he didn't know all the severity of it. Now he's doing it with knowing the severity, so he's doing it on purpose now. And therefore you could be potentially similar to the idea of don't put a stumbling block before the blind. That a person says it's better sometimes they should be unknowingly than doing it on purpose. Baruch Adonai Olam.